This is the Morning Swim Show for Tuesday, September 13th, 2011. I'm Jeff Cummings, and again, I'm here at the American Swimming Coaches Association's clinic in San Diego, California. And with me is Dan Flack, head coach of the Baylor School girls and boys swim teams. Dan is beaming from ear to ear now because his girls team, for the second time in 3 years, was named as the overall National High School champions, and they tied with Carmel High School. So I'm sure he's breathing a sigh of relief, aren't you, Dan?
I was pleasantly surprised, let's say that. I knew it was going to be close. You never quite know how those things are going to shake out, but I was delighted when I got the email, that's for sure.
Are you the type of coach who goes through all the times around the country and puts them out and says, okay, this is going to be close this year?
I used to, yes. As it goes on each year, as there's different seasons in California so late, I'm like, this is all going to come out in the wash. So this year I did not check it nearly as much as I have in the past.
So obviously when Swimming World tabulates all of the final totals, like I said, we contact you and let you know. Was there anything going on in the back of your mind, like, I have a feeling we won this year?
I did not think we won. I thought we'd be top three. I knew we put up some good times and had some really good relays and everything. But I was delighted with the way it shook out. I knew we would be up there, but I really didn't have a firm grasp on what actual place we would get.
Well, you had a national record in the 200 free relay. You had Kristen Vredefeld score a lot of points.
Yes.
I mean, that had to kind of give you a little
optimism.
Yes.
Yes, I just didn't know. I know Missy Franklin was going nuts, and I didn't know what event she would be put in and all that stuff. So I thought, like I said, I thought we'd be pretty good.
What was the key to this season doing so well?
I've gotten very comfortable. I joke with my staff. When it comes to our high school state meet, I feel very confident now that I got that meet figured out on how to really prepare kids and make sure that we're at peak speed, because it's a real speed meet. Very few races are over 4 laps. So we really we put a lot of emphasis on really teaching the kids. 100-yard race, very different than a 100-meter race. And we're pretty good now at showing the kids how to really swim a 100-yard race. And it was just one of those meets where, boom, the first swim was good, and we just kind of kept rolling and rolling and rolling.
Right.
And it's great that it was, our boys and girls both were kind of going off, and it just got it rolling.
Right. And I also want to mention your boys' team, top 3 in the country, 3rd place.
Yeah, that one shocked me. If that one, I'm so proud of our girls, but that group of boys, let's just say that's an interesting group to work with on many levels. Guys, you know what I'm talking about. But for them to put it all together the way they did, like our 200 boys 200 medley relay, those guys were nothing special 2 years before, and I'm like, wow, I think they just set our school record. They ended up missing by 100th, but for those guys to come around the way they did was really refreshing to see. And I think the girls fed off of that energy.
Right. What's the dynamic between the boys and girls teams? Do they train together?
Yes, we all train together. We work together. We break up into different groups once we get to a certain point in the season relative to events. But yes, the boys and the girls swim together, practice at the same time, the whole thing. I do some things as we get closer to the actual championship competition. We do some things differently. But for the most part, the two teams work together. Each group it's a different dynamic. Last year's groups, the boys were kind of the boys, and the girls were probably the girls, as much as any group that I've been at Baylor. I'm not saying that's good or bad, it was just the way it was. Whereas like this year's team, we're just starting out, and I think they're much more intermeshed with each other.
Now everybody knows on your team, Kristen Vredefeld, as we mentioned, 1500 freestyler. Who else on this team should we be looking for this upcoming season?
This year we have a couple kids who I think are going to take quantum leaps. We had 4 girls swim in Lima, Peru at the World Junior Championships, representing 4 different countries. And I think we have some girls from the Caribbean who are really, they've got, it takes a little while to figure it out and get it used to. I almost say the first year it's like learning a new language to a degree, and they have to adjust to being away from home and all that. But we have some girls, a girl named an Ashley Yearwood who was on our record-setting relay, a girl from Trinidad, Kimberly John Williams, a local girl named Hannah Pfeiffer. I think those are all kids that are going to really have big breakthroughs this year. They had great summers, and they seem set up to really go this year.
You tied for the national title with Carmel, they've been a phenomenal public school for 30 years, and you guys are really starting to come up. In your article in Swimming World Magazine this month, you said you're trying to make Baylor a brand.
Yes.
What do you mean by that?
A brand, in my mind, it is not just something that you see maybe in other collegiate sports. All of a sudden the team has the miracle year and they win a championship or something, but then 2 or 3 years later they go away. Whereas a North Carolina basketball and Alabama football, they're always around, and that's what I want us to be. Hey, just as we were joking beforehand, people don't think we're from Waco, Texas anymore. They actually kind of know where we're from now. That's step one. And we just want to put out, I have a great supportive coaching staff. They work their tails off. They're really supportive. And I think we've got a situation where we can be year after year consistently one of the top high school programs in the country.
Is this success that you've had on the national level kind of spilling over to the general Baylor community? Are they really recognizing what you guys are doing?
Yes. It's funny. In the state of Tennessee, swimming is actually not even recognized as a high school sport. So we have technically a coaches association championship, which is a good thing because there's lots of rules put on the other sports that don't apply to us relative to how long we can practice and all this kind of stuff. But I used to joke that if initially when we started getting better, if we were football players, these kids would be rock stars around town and everybody would know. But now, yes, now we are starting to, just our overall club, our club component of it is really taken off. Our numbers are doing great. That feeds into the school team, and it's all part of that branding thing. But yes, we're getting much more established around town.
And I imagine you are. I mean, you're going on with your 5th season?
6. This will be 6. Yes, yes. People know me a little more. A little more.
Yeah, I want to go back a little bit to the fact that swimming is not an actual high school sport in Tennessee.
Yeah.
Is that something that you're trying to get to happen so that there can be an actual state championship?
No, I mean we host a great, our coaches association puts on a great meet. It alternates now between Nashville's Tracy Calkins pool and the great new facility they have at Knoxville at University of Tennessee. No, I like it the way it is because there's no blackout times on us, and there's an awful lot of rules, and a lot of it I think stems from football.
Right.
We are an SEC football country, and sometimes they bend the rules a little bit. So I think a lot of those were put in at the high school level as there was a trickle down. So I'm more than fine with it the way we are.
Well, can't imagine you wouldn't be. It's working out so great.
Yes, it's going so well.
So looking ahead, dude, I know you said you didn't know how this year was going to turn out. What are you looking for this next season, especially with it being an Olympics year?
Well, yes, it's there's just more of a buzz, I think, right now. I think we have I really like this group of kids. It's a younger group, very eager, very moldable. Kind of reminds me a lot of the kids when I kind of first got there. I think since, again, we had so many swimmers as well as myself going to the World Juniors, there's that. Our kids are a little bit more exposed to international swimming because we've got kids who will be going to a meet in the Caribbean somewhere. We had that I think we have kids from 5-6 different countries on our team, as well as Martin Grotsky, who's a graduate, who's at the University of Georgia, who's an Olympic hopeful. I mean, we proudly put on our team shirts a couple years ago, London Calling 2012, and I said, this is not something that, it was a great Clash song, and it makes a good shirt, but this is something that we really believe, that we want somebody, I don't know who it is, but from our Baylor program, swimming in the Olympics. That's and we've got we bought the big sign that's got all the Olympic trial cuts is posted up right next to my office on our pool deck for everybody to see. There's a bit more of an excitement for this year. So it's obviously going to take a little bit more tweaking and planning relative to obviously swimming great at our high school meet, but making sure that, we set a goal that we want 12 kids at trials, and I firmly believe we're going to get there. We set a goal that some of our international kids, we want you to, make this level of competition or whatever, and I think we're going to get there.
Well, I think you're already really close. Like you said,
Thanks, it's
becoming a brand.
Yeah, we are trying.
You definitely are. Well, Dan, thanks so much for joining us again. Congratulations on the national title. I'm sure we're going to see it more down the road.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for having me.
Our pleasure. So that's Dan Flack from the Baylor School joining us on the Morning Swim Show today. Thanks for watching.